The biting wind whipped across the rolling fields of rural Ireland, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant peat fires. Liam O'Connell, a man weathered by 50 years of working the land, grumbled as his old tractor, the Green Monster, sputtered through another furrow. It was a late autumn afternoon, the kind where the sun seemed to lose its battle against the encroaching clouds almost as soon as it rose. Liam was tired, his back aching from hours spent wrestling the plough through the stubborn soil. He dreamt of a hot meal, a pint of Guinness, and the quiet comfort of his armchair by the fireplace. Suddenly, the plough snagged something hard. Liam, a man who knew every stone and root on his farm, felt a jolt of alarm. This wasn't the usual rock. He cut the engine, the sudden silence amplifying the whistle of the wind. Cautiously, he climbed down, his heavy boots sinking slightly into the soft earth. Reaching into the freshly turned soil, his fingers brushed against something smooth, then cold and metallic. He pulled, and slowly, a shape emerged from the dark soil. It was a mask, unmistakably golden, its surface dulled by centuries, but still radiating a faint, captivating gleam. Intricate, almost alien symbols were etched into its forehead, and two empty, almond-shaped eye-holes stared back at him, devoid of warmth. Liam stared, his breath catching in his throat. He'd seen old coins, arrowheads, even ancient pottery on his land before, but nothing like this. This wasn't just old. It felt ancient, infused with a history far grander than his simple farm. He carefully wiped away some of the clinging mud, revealing more of the mask's exquisite craftsmanship. A shiver ran down his spine, not from the cold, but from the unsettling beauty of his find. He knew instinctively that his life, and perhaps his quiet corner of Ireland, would never be the same. The golden mask, buried for so long, had finally found its way back to the light, and with it, a torrent of unforeseen consequences was about to be unleashed. The golden mask sat on Liam's kitchen table, a silent, glittering enigma under the warm glow of the overhead light. His wife, Moira, a practical woman with a kind but no-nonsense demeanor, gasped when she first saw it. "Liam O'Connell, what in God's name is that?" she'd exclaimed, her voice a mix of awe and trepidation. They spent the evening examining it, turning it over and over, their fingers tracing the strange symbols. Liam, usually reserved, felt an uncharacteristic excitement bubbling within him. He decided to call Dr. Eleanor Vance, a local archaeologist he'd met a few years back at a historical society meeting. Dr. Vance arrived the next morning, her eyes widening the moment she laid them on the mask. Her calm, academic composure faltered, replaced by an almost childlike wonder. This is extraordinary, Liam," she murmured, her voice barely a whisper. She explained that the craftsmanship hinted at an unknown pre-Celtic civilization, or perhaps a powerful, forgotten sect. News of the discovery, despite their best efforts to keep it quiet, began to spread like wildfire through the small community. Whispers turned into murmurs, then into outright conversations in the local pub. People started arriving at Liam's farmhouse, curious and eager to glimpse the golden relic. Among them were two men who didn't fit the usual profile of local onlookers. One, a slick-haired man in an expensive suit, introduced himself as Mr. Thorne, an antiquities dealer. The other, Brother Michael, wore the austere robes of an obscure religious order, his eyes intense and unwavering. Their polite inquiries quickly turned into thinly veiled attempts to acquire the mask, each offering increasingly tempting sums of money, or, in Brother Michael's case, speaking of the mask's spiritual significance and the sacred duty of its preservation. Liam and Moira felt a growing unease. The mask was no longer just a fascinating artifact, it had become a magnet, pulling in forces they barely understood and threatening to shatter the peace of their simple lives. The quiet life they cherished was already a distant memory. Dr. Vance, recognizing the immense historical value and the potential danger surrounding the mask, arranged for it to be transported to a secure, private lab in Dublin. Liam, despite his reluctance to part with his discovery, agreed, trusting Eleanor's judgment. The journey itself was tense, with Eleanor constantly checking their rearview mirror, convinced they were being followed. Once at the lab, a team of specialists began their meticulous examination. Initial tests revealed the gold to be remarkably pure, and the symbols, while unique, bore faint resemblances to ancient European pictograms, suggesting a surprising connection to long-lost cultures. As the scientific analysis progressed, Eleanor delved deeper into historical archives, trying to find any mention of similar artifacts or civilizations. She spent sleepless nights poring over obscure texts and maps. Meanwhile, the pressure on Liam intensified. Mr. Thorne's offers became more aggressive, accompanied by subtle threats that implied he knew more about Liam's family than he should. Brother Michael, too, escalated his pleas, his religious fervor turning into a zealous insistence that the mask belonged to his order, claiming it was a sacred artifact that held profound spiritual power, a key to ancient mysteries that should not be in secular hands. One evening, after a particularly unsettling phone call from Thorne, Liam found himself pacing his kitchen floor. Moira, seeing his distress, reminded him of their shared values and the importance of doing what was right, not what was easy. Her unwavering support became his anchor in a sea of uncertainty. The mask, now confirmed to be thousands of years old, began to reveal tantalizing clues about a forgotten civilization that had existed in Ireland long before the Celts, a people with advanced metallurgical skills and a complex belief system. However, with each new revelation, the mystery deepened and the stakes grew higher. The more they learned, the more perilous their situation became. The discovery of the mask had opened a Pandora's box, and the quiet life Liam and Moira cherished was swiftly eroding. Mr. Thorne's veiled threats turned into clear intimidation. Strange cars were spotted lingering near their farm, and anonymous phone calls plagued their landline, often just silence or distorted whispers. Liam, a man who had always relied on his strength and common sense, found himself increasingly unnerved. He installed new security cameras and kept his old shotgun closer at hand, but the feeling of being watched never truly dissipated. Brother Michael, equally relentless, approached Liam with a different kind of pressure. He spoke of ancient prophecies and the divine right of his order to reclaim the mask. His followers, zealous and unwavering, began a peaceful but persistent vigil outside Liam's farm, chanting and holding signs demanding the mask's return. The media, catching wind of the golden mask controversy, descended upon their small town, turning Liam into a reluctant national figure. He felt trapped between the predatory greed of Thorne and the fervent conviction of Brother Michael, both equally determined to possess his discovery. Eleanor, recognizing the escalating danger, urged Liam to accept police protection, but he was hesitant, not wanting to draw more attention to his family. She, however, took her own precautions, hiring a private security firm for the lab where the mask was being studied. The mask, now confirmed to be of immense archaeological significance, was revealing more of its secrets. Etched symbols were slowly being deciphered, pointing towards a narrative of migration, worship, and a sudden, unexplained disappearance of the people who crafted it. The more the mask unveiled its past, the more dangerous its present became, pushing Liam to the brink of his endurance. Don't miss a single twist in this thrilling adventure. Hit that subscribe button and join our community to uncover the truth behind the golden mask. The constant pressure began to wear on Liam. He found himself irritable, snapping at Moira over small things and suffering from sleepless nights haunted by the blank, golden eyes of the mask. Moira, seeing his struggle, remained his steadfast support. She listened patiently, offered words of encouragement, and reminded him that they were in this together. Her quiet strength was a balm to his frayed nerves. Eleanor, meanwhile, focused on the puzzle of the mask's symbols. With the help of an international team of linguists and historians, they began to piece together a coherent narrative. The symbols didn't represent a language in the traditional sense, but rather a complex system of pictograms and ideograms, depicting a society that revered a powerful natural force, possibly the sun or a specific celestial body. They also hinted at a cataclysmic event that led to their disappearance. The information, while groundbreaking, only intensified the outside world's desire for the mask. Thorne, growing impatient, began to hint at more than just property damage. He mentioned Liam's granddaughter who lived in Dublin in a chillingly casual manner. The subtle threat against his family was a line Liam couldn't tolerate. He finally agreed to police protection, though it felt like an admission of defeat. Brother Michael, in contrast, seemed to lose some of his earlier intensity, his focus shifting from outright acquisition to a more academic interest in the symbols and their potential religious interpretations. It was a subtle shift, but one Eleanor noticed, prompting her to wonder if there was more to Brother Michael's agenda than simple fanaticism. The stakes were higher than ever, and Liam felt a profound sense of isolation despite the support he received. The police presence at the farm, while initially reassuring, also felt intrusive, disrupting the quiet rhythm of Liam's life. He missed the solitude of his fields, the simple satisfaction of manual labor. The constant surveillance made him feel like a prisoner in his own home. However, it did deter Thorne's more overt intimidation tactics, forcing him to operate from the shadows. A surprising turn of events occurred when Brother Michael requested a private meeting with Eleanor. He revealed that his order, while seeking the mask for its perceived spiritual power, also possessed ancient texts that contained similar symbols to those on the mask. He believed that combining their knowledge could unlock deeper secrets. Eleanor, cautious but intrigued, agreed to collaborate, understanding the immense potential of such an alliance for archaeological advancement. Brother Michael, it seemed, was not merely a zealot, but a scholar in his own right, driven by a thirst for knowledge as much as faith. This collaboration, however, created a new set of challenges. Thorne, furious at the prospect of the mask's secrets being publicly deciphered, intensified his efforts. He hired a new team of individuals, shadowy figures with a more professional, ruthless edge. They were no longer content with intimidation. They sought to acquire the mask by any means necessary. Liam, feeling the net tightening around him, found renewed resolve. He wouldn't let these forces exploit his discovery or endanger his family. He knew he had to be smart, to use every resource available to him, and trust in the unexpected allies who were now part of his complex journey. The fight for the mask and for his peace was far from over. The collaboration between Eleanor's team and Brother Michael's scholars yielded a breakthrough. They discovered that the symbols on the mask, when combined with the ancient texts from Brother Michael's order, pointed to a specific location in rural Ireland, an uncharted cave system believed to be a burial site or a place of worship for the mask's creators. This discovery solidified the mask's immense historical value and further intensified the hunt for it. Thorne, through his network of informants, got wind of this revelation. His tactics escalated from subtle threats to direct action. One stormy evening, a coordinated attempt was made to steal the mask from the secure Dublin lab. A team of skilled operatives, clad in black, breached the facility's defenses. The alarm blared through the building, a piercing wail that shattered the calm of the night. Eleanor, working late, narrowly escaped with the mask, her heart pounding against her ribs as she clutched the heavy artifact. A frantic chase ensued through the rain-slicked streets of Dublin. Eleanor, relying on her quick thinking and a prearranged emergency plan, navigated the labyrinthine back alleys and bustling thoroughfares, pursued by Thorne's relentless agents. Liam, having been alerted by Eleanor moments before the breach, sped towards Dublin, his old tractor replaced by a borrowed faster car, his mind racing with fear for Eleanor's safety and the fate of the mask. The city lights blurred through the downpour, a chaotic backdrop to the high-stakes pursuit. The cold dread in Liam's stomach was a stark contrast to the burning determination in his eyes. Don't miss a single heart-pounding moment. Subscribe now to join our community and unravel the final secrets of the Golden Mask. Eleanor, resourceful and determined, managed to evade Thorne's operatives, thanks to a last-minute diversion created by Brother Michael's surprisingly agile followers who blocked a key street with their impromptu demonstration. She rendezvoused with Liam on the outskirts of Dublin, the Golden Mask securely hidden in a reinforced travel case. The relief on Liam's face was palpable. They knew their next move, the uncharted cave system. Guided by the decoded symbols and Brother Michael's ancient maps, they journeyed to a remote, desolate area of Ireland, far from any major roads. The landscape was rugged and windswept, echoing the wild beauty of ancient times. They were joined by a small, trusted team from Eleanor's archaeological department and a few of Brother Michael's most knowledgeable scholars, all committed to protecting the artifact and uncovering its true history. As they approached the suspected site, the air grew heavy, thick with a sense of anticipation and the raw power of the land. The entrance to the cave was hidden behind a waterfall, its roaring spray a natural curtain. Inside, the darkness was absolute, broken only by their headlamps, which cast long, dancing shadows on the damp rock walls. The air was cold and still, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and something else, something ancient and untouched. As they ventured deeper, they found intricate carvings on the cave walls, echoing the symbols on the mask, telling a story of a sophisticated, forgotten civilization and their connection to this very place. The echoes of a lost world resonated through the silent caverns, drawing them deeper into the mystery. Deep within the cavern, the air grew noticeably warmer, almost humid, as if heated by an unseen force. The carvings on the walls became more elaborate, depicting scenes of rituals, daily life, and a grand migration. Finally, they reached a vast circular chamber, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow emanating from phosphorescent minerals embedded in the rock. In the center of the chamber stood a raised stone altar, and upon it a pedestal. As Eleanor placed the golden mask onto the pedestal, something remarkable happened. The mask seemed to hum, a low, resonant vibration that filled the chamber. Light pulsed from the mask's eye holes, projecting intricate patterns onto the cave walls, not just symbols, but what appeared to be holographic images of the ancient people, their faces, their movements, their rituals. It was a visual record, a living history projected through the mask, revealing their advanced understanding of optics and their profound connection to the sun and stars. They saw glimpses of their peaceful society, their reverence for nature, and the cataclysmic event, a massive solar flare, that forced them to abandon their homeland, leaving behind only the mask as a beacon of their existence, a message across millennia. Just as the final images faded, a sudden commotion erupted near the entrance. Thorne, having tracked them relentlessly, had finally found them. He stormed into the chamber with his armed mercenaries, his face contorted in a sneer of triumph. "The mask is mine," he bellowed, his voice echoing menacingly through the sacred space. The tranquility of the ancient chamber was shattered by the harsh reality of their modern conflict. The tension in the Chamber of Remembrance was unbearable. Thorne's mercenaries, armed and menacing, surrounded Liam, Eleanor, and Brother Michael's team. Thorne moved towards the altar, his hand reaching for the mask, his eyes gleaming with avarice. But Liam, despite his fear, found an unexpected surge of courage. He stepped forward, placing himself between Thorne and the mask. "This isn't just gold, Thorne," he said, his voice surprisingly steady. "This is history. A legacy. It belongs to everyone, not just you." A standoff ensued. Liam, with the quiet support of Moira who had joined them, appealed to the humanity of Thorne's mercenaries, speaking of the shared heritage revealed by the mask. Eleanor passionately explained the immense scientific and historical value of the discovery, while Brother Michael eloquently articulated its profound spiritual significance, not as a tool for power, but as a testament to human resilience and ancient wisdom. The combined weight of their words, along with the powerful, awe-inspiring display of the mask's projections, seemed to sow doubt among Thorne's hired hands. Some shifted uncomfortably, their gazes lingering on the ancient images on the walls. In a dramatic turn, one of Thorne's own men, seemingly moved by the profound atmosphere and the integrity of Liam's stance, subtly disarmed another, creating a momentary chaos that Eleanor, with surprising agility, exploited. She grabbed the mask from the pedestal and, with Liam's help, secured it. The police, alerted by Brother Michael's swift communication before Thorne's arrival, burst into the chamber, apprehending Thorne and his remaining men. The golden mask was finally safe, its secrets preserved and its future secured. In the aftermath, the mask was placed in a national museum, its story shared with the world. Liam, Moira, Eleanor, and Brother Michael became unexpected heroes, their lives intertwined by the golden artifact. Liam returned to his farm, finding a renewed appreciation for its quiet beauty, no longer just a farmer, but a guardian of history. The mask, now a symbol of shared heritage and the power of human connection, continued to inspire, reminding everyone that sometimes the greatest treasures are not just found, but protected through courage, collaboration, and a deep respect for the past. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more captivating narratives and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure.